Hello, you are listening to the OmniTalk Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with Microsoft, the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Takeoff, Sezzle, and Silk. The OmniTalk Fast 5 podcast is the podcast that we hope makes you feel a little smarter, but most importantly, a little happier each week, too. Today is December 1st, 2022. I'm your host, Ann Mazinga.
And I'm Chris Walton.
And we are here once again to discuss all the headlines making waves in the world of omnichannel retailing, and apparently are shocked that it is already December 1st.
December 1st, yeah. And you hear my wow there? I'm like,
yeah.
Although I'm not surprised.
An audible wow.
I'm not surprised because it's 15 degrees outside.
I know.
And I'm freezing in the studio right now.
Winter is no longer coming. It is here, Chris.
It is. It's been here for a while, actually.
Yes.
And it sucks. I hate it. Can't take it anymore, Ann.
No, but
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give. But you know what the best part of December 1st is?
What?
All the Spotify year-end reviews come out, and
that was pretty sweet.
It is my favorite time of year. I mean, yes, there's a podcast year-end review, which we have to talk about, but also...
Do you get... Because I'm not a big Spotify guy. Does Spotify... I've never listened to anything on Spotify.
This is where I don't understand you as a human being. When you're like, I'm not that into music. Like, I don't care. Of like, what? Yes.
I probably have not played a single song on my phone all year long.
What?
All year long. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, huh?
Not one?
No. The only time I listen to music's in my car. Satellite radio,
God.
You know? Like, that's it.
Such a travesty.
I know it's nuts, though, right?
It is, but this is, like, the most fun time of the year because I love, like, my Spotify.
What were some highlights from your Spotify knowledge that was dropped on you this week?
I mean, tons of Brandy Carlisle.
I
read her memoir at the beginning of the year, and now, like, Brandy Carlisle. But then you have, like, Juice WRLD and all these, like, crazy songs that my kids are listening to, and Encanto. Like, it's all over the board, this Spotify playlist.
Which is funny because shout out to Lee Dunbar, loyal listener, who he showed his Spotify, I think it was his family's Spotify list.
Yes.
On LinkedIn yesterday, and we were number one for him.
That's amazing.
Because we're part of his like Saturday journey to Walmart for his pickup order. He puts us in, listens to us on the way, gets away from the wife and the family, I think, and like listens to us. Because I imagine the rest of the family's not listening to OmniTalk, but Lee, correct me if I'm wrong. But thanks, man.
I mean,
shout out
it's a family
to you,
show. We do a lot to keep this as a somewhat family-friendly show.
Sometimes I get on a few rants, but and the statistics that Spotify shared with us were pretty sweet. Like I was pretty blown away. Like, do you know we're a top 10 podcast internationally? Like globally.
Top 10%.
We're in the top 10% of all podcasts that are listened to globally, and
that's
globally,
amazing.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was one shocker after another with all the like groovy transitions that Spotify does between every one of those stats that you have to sit through. But yes, the top 10 most followed podcast, Chris.
Yep. Top 10%. Yep.
Yes. Also, meaning that we have we get the label of the enthusiast as our audience profile.
Yeah, right. I did. Yeah, the enthusiast made me think of my Target days.
It did.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like all those customer segments. But yeah, that's who we had, right?
Yes.
Which are super fans. That they meant our super fans. And thank you to all of you.
Yes.
When a podcast episode comes out, you download it right away, which is huge.
That's amazing.
And the other part, too, that I actually get off this in a second, but the other part I was especially proud of and want to say thank you to everybody for was our listenership, Ann, was up 100% this past year.
You guys
and this is
awesome.
year 4 of us. This is year 5 of us doing a podcast. So that was off of our 4th year. We're up 100%. So
everyone
huge
listening,
news.
We love you so much. This is such an amazing thing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this show. We do this for you. We have so much fun doing it. And yeah, don't forget to leave your comments for us too. We want to hear your feedback.
Yeah, leave us your reviews.
Just put a little thumbs up in the review, whatever strikes your fancy.
Tell us what we can do better.
Yeah.
Tell us what you can do better, Ann.
I think that's a really good suggestion. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Make me a better man. That's a Pearl Jam song, right?
I think that they can't find a
Pearl
better
Jam
man.
Say, yeah, better man. Yeah, it's different words.
Yeah.
But hey, it works. All right, let's end
I think
this
they
gong.
want us to get to the show.
Yeah,
Chris,
let's get this gong show going, Ann. All right, today's Fast 5 headlines are brought to you with the help and support of Manifest. Manifest is the Who's Who conference in supply chain, and it is January 31st to February 2nd in Las Vegas. I was just in Vegas, Ann, and I can't wait to get back.
You warmed it up for us?
I did. I spent the weekend with the in-laws, and I can't wait to get back. OmniTalk fans can still save $200 on their registration by heading, Ann.
That's a lot.
Heading to Manifest/OmniTalk. That's manife.st/OmniTalk. Damn, Daniel, that's so great.
I forgot
that brings
about
back
that.
the days. All right, in today's Fast Five, we've got news on Target rolling out Starbucks curbside pickup to 250 stores approximately. What we are calling an AWS retail technology product launch onslaught.
Ooh.
Very proud of how I wrote that.
Yep.
Rite Aid's new small format store concept. Claire's opening up shop-in-shops inside of Macy's.
All right, so we are going to go to headline number 1, Chris. That is right. According to data from Captify, our new favorite data source, apparently.
Yeah.
Walmart took the top spot among shoppers who are searching for online Black Friday discounts. According to CNBC, the top spot had previously been occupied by Amazon last year, but not this year. Amazon dropped all the way down to 4th place behind Walmart, Target, and Kohl's. Yes, Kohl's.
One of those is not like the other
Yes,
ad.
in that order.
It's shocking.
Chris, I want to know what your thoughts are, but so does A&M. They are going to kick things right off here, asking you a put you on the spot question.
December starting off hot.
About this very topic. So they want to know, Walmart is overtaking Amazon in Black Friday searches this year. It's big news, but even more surprising is Amazon falling into that 4th slot. What do you think this says about the state of consumer shopping, inflationary impacts, and the relative value propositions and perceptions of big retailer discounting that Amazon was behind Walmart, Target, and Kohl's in this Black Friday discount search?
Ooh, fun question, Ann.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where you stand on this because we didn't talk about this at all heading into the show. So I'm curious what your point of view is and if it differs from mine. But, honestly, in answering that question, I don't think it says much at all.
Okay.
And I think I'd say that for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't know about you, but I can't make heads or tails of the data coming out of Black Friday right now.
There's a lot
It's
out there.
all over the board.
It's all about the headlines.
It is.
Which it always is.
It's always about the sound bites, right?
Yeah.
But as examples of that, Kohl's being number 3, I read a report yesterday that Kohl's had the worst performance.
Yes.
Or expected worst performance of any of the retailers. And then Costco's performance came out for the last month this morning, and it was also not good.
Yeah.
So I'm just having trouble reading anything of this. And the other point I would make too, which I think is important, is we can't forget that Amazon had an October Prime Day this year.
Yes.
Or early access day.
Yeah.
Which means they're going to pull some of that demand forward, which, as we talked about on the show last week, again prompted by A&M, was probably the smart move for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So in a lot of ways, it's not surprising that people are looking to Amazon less than these other players. So net for me, while the headline is good for Captify, shout out to Captify.
Yeah.
I don't think it really tells the story. We're not going to know until the season's over. But what do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I think the headline's a little misleading here because it's Black Friday deal searches, not sales, not
Great
performance.
Great point.
And
it's not conversion. Yeah,
yes,
right.
The biggest thing for me here, because I was shocked. I was like, how is this even possible? But you mentioned Amazon doing the Prime Early Access sale in October and moving their sales up up for Cyber Week. And last year, I did an exhaustive search. So people correct me if I'm wrong. My memory is terrible. I have way too much going on. But Amazon didn't do an October Prime Day event.
That's right. They did one the year before in 2020.
So I think that the demand likely, last year
Relative
for Black Friday and Cyber Monday for deals was going to Amazon because they were up neck and neck with Walmart, Target, and everyone else. So I don't think that you can do a direct apples to apples comparison because of the Prime Day coming up this year. And I think that, from a consumer's perspective, even as I was searching for my deals, that Walmart and Target especially have been so overt about price matching through the end of the year. So I wonder if that wasn't driving some consumers to be like, well, we're just going to go to Amazon and Target, to Walmart and Target first because we know that they're going to have to price match. So hopefully they've gone ahead with the deals and kind of impacted search in that way.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Those are great points, Ann. That's interesting too. So far, every one search on Amazon, the really price discerning shopper is doing another search on Walmart and another search on Target potentially for the price match guarantee. Yeah.
And I still think there's something to being able to get something that day. If you're going to if you want that TV
100%
on Thursday 100%. Or on Friday, whatever it might be, you can do that at Walmart and Target too. So
that's a great point. Yeah, the immediacy factor. All right, headline number 2. Great opening headline. I loved it.
We're bringing the heat today.
Yeah, heat. God, because we need it. All right, according to our friends at Retail Touchpoint, shout out to our friend Alicia there. She's awesome.
Hey.
Target has rolled out Starbucks with curbside pickup to roughly 250 stores. The new service is now available at select stores in California, Delaware, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, Washington, and everyone's favorite, West Virginia. Woo! Shout out Mountaineers.
Mama.
Yeah, right? Rocky Top, is that what it's called? Here's how it works. And this is important, so listen closely because these are some important delineations that we want to talk about on the show. Starbucks orders can be placed after the target customer receives confirmation that their standard curbside order is ready. At that time, the customer can indicate that they are en route via the Target app and place an order from the full Starbucks cafe menu.
Yes.
Once they have made their selection, an add for drive-up option appears to let them pay and have it added to the rest of their pickup order. Once the customer then indicates that they are on their way, a Starbucks associate then begins preparing the order. The customer then parks in the designated drive-up area and taps "I'm here" in the Target app to have their entire order. Just like that.
I'm here.
Yes, you have to make that sound. You have to make that exclamation when you tap the button. Okay. Where was I? And then their entire order is delivered to their car, inclusive of their Starbucks. And you tried this out recently. You were one of the first people to try this.
I did.
What is your review?
Well, because Ben Shine was texting you and was like, "It's here."
Yeah, he's like, "It's live. It's live."
I know, and I immediately was like, "I have to try this. I have to try this." It was amazing.
Amazing. An amazing drop.
Yes, some of us on the show may have been skeptical about Target and Starbucks' ability to pull this off. I'm not naming any names here, but it worked out so well. I was there the day before Thanksgiving. Crazy mass pandemonium happening in the parking lot, in the Target store, people getting whatever they could for Thanksgiving holiday, but it was perfect. It was fast. I pulled up and I was like, all right, I'm going to get this coffee order. I ordered 2 things, one for me, one for my son, ordered food and coffee in the same order, and it worked like a dream. I got my Target pickup order. This nice gentleman brought it out to my car, smiling face, handed me a cute little Starbucks bag. They even have like cut up, because I had 2 drinks. They had cut the little drink holder in half so that they were like, it was resting inside the Target bag so he could drop it off, have my name on it.
Huh? To a degree.
I love this so much. I just want the ability though to just order coffee.
You
sometimes.
do. Yes. See that?
Well, what are your
That's
thoughts?
my point with it too. Like, and I can't wait to try it out myself. I'm going to try to give it a shot tomorrow, but I think you're right. And kudos to you for calling me out on that, because I did think this was going to be very logistically hard. So the fact that it worked that well is an incredible achievement.
Yes.
So kudos to everyone we know at Target and everyone we don't know for pulling this off, because it is pretty impressive.
Yes.
But I'm with you. Like, there's still parts of this that make it feel like expect more, pay more to me in a lot of ways, because, and by the expect more, pay more, it's you can have it, but you literally are paying more. You're ordering something and it's an add-on.
Yeah.
So we're getting more from you as a customer, which, to your point, I want to know, like, why can't I just order coffee curbside? Why can't that be part of it? And maybe that's where they're going.
Because you can't leave Target without spending $50. They're going to make sure it happens whether it's curbside or not. Chris.
I know, but that's what bothers me about it. That's why, like, when I go back to my merchandising days, it just doesn't feel like it's fully in the expect more, pay less ethos yet to me. It feels like it's built solely to entice the add-on / impulse purchase, which Target's probably not the only one. They've likely lost a ton of Starbucks volume because of how they've gone into curbside pickup. So that's my thoughts on it. I'd love to see them go that route, but hey, it's early. Like we always say on the show, it's early. They've just they're basically still testing it in 250 stores. Maybe that day comes. I hope it does, but I'm going to try it out and I'm going to report back too.
I can't wait until there's more added to this selection. And I think if you are in one of the brands who is in the checkout lane, you need to be paying attention to this, because if they have figured out the technology, the operational elements to execute on this, you are going to be wanting to get that gum, the candy. We're going to be speaking at the NCA conference in a little bit here. Like, people pay attention, because this is going to change exactly like how people are getting accustomed to it with Starbucks nonetheless. Like,
it's a great point too. The tricky part with the checklane items is those aren't always located and the inventory isn't always visible in the stores too, depending on which store you're talking about and which brands you're talking about, all that. So it gets really tricky. But you're right. Why can't I get a pack of gum the same way, or a Coke, or a Gatorade, or a bag of Ruffles or Doritos, like we always talk about on the show, and like, Yeah, if they offered a Dorito, you'd know you'd grab
God,
it.
yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, that was like we released the Foxtrot video this week, and like that was one of the, somebody asked like, what did you think was so great about Foxtrot? And it was like, I mean, I can get Doritos and a cheese plate and a breakfast taco all in the same spot. Like,
yeah, like if there's a pop-up, like, do you want a bag of Twizzlers? Sucker for that deal, right? Like, as I'm getting my order, 100%.
So true. All right, let's go to headline number 3. AWS announced a flurry of new retail tech product launches this week. 2 in particular that caught our attention. So first, AWS Supply Chain. Now, AWS Supply Chain connects to a retailer's existing enterprise resource planning, or ERP, and supply chain management system without requiring replatforming, upfront licensing fees, or long-term commitments, and then provides machine learning-powered actionable insights and also offers built-in contextual collaboration. Digest that for a moment.
Oh, I am, man.
Take a deep breath.
Fully digesting.
Second, they're also offering AWS Clean Rooms, which help customers and their partners more easily and securely match, analyze, and collaborate on their combined data sets without sharing or revealing underlying data. Chris,
yeah,
I'm going to go to you for the expert analysis on this one because I had to read these pages about 6 times. So I'm going to...
Yeah, no, it's tricky. It's tricky. And it is something worth digesting for all those listening. You may need some omeprazole to help you with that digestion.
A what?
Prilosec, one of those antacid medications.
Why can't you just say Prilosec? Why do you have to do the 25-cent drug name of it?
I don't know, because that's how I roll. I don't know.
I mean, of course it's how you roll. I'm just saying.
What am I going to say? Tums? Because it's not as funny.
We're in
right?
the top 10% of podcasts listened to internationally. Let's give the people a generic term.
At this point, we likely were. And all right. Here's my thoughts on it. I love these announcements because they both, I think, show how smart Amazon is.
Okay.
And the reason I say this, you take 2 areas where there's going to be a flurry of activity in the next year. We've talked about this a lot on our show. We talked about it with Microsoft.
Yep.
And those 2 areas are supply chain upgrades,
yes,
which retailers are fast and furiously trying to do, and also retail media networks.
Yes.
Which is one point that you make a lot, and you brought it up in the Microsoft podcast too, which is you have to give the retailers and the brands, really the brands that are using your retail media network, to understand that they're going to have very good and clean data to be able to take action on what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And so Amazon, by this announcement, is essentially setting themselves up to give retailers the backbone to be efficient at both those things. So I think it's brilliant. The only question I have is how many retailers will take Amazon up on this?
Absolutely.
But my guess is after seeing Quick Trip and Hudson News sign up for Amazon's Just Walk Out technology, which, by the way, coincidentally is another offshoot of the AWS platform, I think it's going to be more than people think as well. So, but that's my thought.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean...
And if you look at the AWS list of clients,
that's true.
There are a hell of a lot more retailers on there than I expected, and some big retailers.
Yeah, like Neiman Marcus, and there was some larger retailers on there. Is this a smart move by Amazon? Of course, yes. They've already built it. Why not try to make some money off of it?
Right, that's true too.
And they'll learn so much from any of the retailers that are willing to participate. I think that's a really smart point. I just question how many retailers, as they're moving forward strategically, are going to get in bed further with Amazon. And because it's going to require that you build your business based on how Amazon is set up, which yes is efficient, in supply chain, yes is efficient in, retail media, but I really think that we're going to see some resistance from the big retailers of deciding to go this direction, especially with so many of them building their own retail media networks, figuring out this data problem, which is a huge issue.
Right. It's just the data side of it, yeah.
They can't handle that internally. The brands can't handle the cleaning of the data, the digestion of the data, and the action to take on behalf of the data on their own. So this may be a temporary solution for some, but I don't know. I also think this is where is the breakup conversation coming?
The AWS monopoly conversation?
This is getting...
Whoa, tangent.
I know.
Tangent alert.
But, all right.
Yeah,
tinfoil hat alert.
No, I think it's a great point, though. I think it's important to bring it up 100%. I was just kind of jokingly mocking that, statement but it is interesting because, if they get traction here, it makes... basically, they're running the platform for retail as they're also doing retail, which brings up a lot of questions, honestly, fundamentally.
Totally. And I guess the last point I would make, too, is this going to be worth it? Amazon's not going to give this to you for free.
No.
And when we look at the way that Amazon's operating everything else, selling on the platform, they're taking huge cuts. And is it going to be worth it to these retailers to get in bed with Amazon and to pay whatever Amazon decides throughout the years to charge for this service?
Yeah, I would have thought that too. But then when I see like Hudson News and again Quick Trip giving the front end of their customer experience over to Amazon technology, this is all back end stuff that the customer's never going to see.
That's true.
Doesn't impact your brand at all. And you've got people doing that very regularly with them now. So I don't see, you'd like to think that they wouldn't, but they will.
I know.
All right, headline number 4. According to Chain Store Age, Rite Aid has launched a new small format store pilot for quote-unquote pharmacy deserts and underserved communities. The first location opened earlier this month in Craigsville, Virginia, which has less than 1,000 residents, and 2 additional stores are planned to open in Virginia by early 2023. The new smaller format store will average approximately 3,000 square feet, which is significantly smaller, quite significantly smaller than the average 11,000 square foot to 15,000 square foot standard Rite Aid location, and will also still feature a full-service pharmacy along with an assortment of health and wellness products. The stores, this is important too, will also have a full-time pharmacist and a full-time pharmacy technician on staff. And your thoughts?
Second Virginia reference in the podcast today. We had West Virginia earlier. Now we're going to Virginia.
Those are fighting words. West Virginia ain't Virginia.
I know.
No.
I'm just saying 2 Virginia references. West Virginia and Virginia references.
I got to figure out how to bring on East Virginia in this.
Oh my God. Okay. I really like this idea. I like that they're...
Sorry, I just died on the East Virginia line. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm amusing myself.
I clearly. So I do like this idea of getting into these pharmacy deserts. Yes, I do. I just want to make sure that Rite Aid is making the investments operationally and in technology in order to execute this successfully. If we start seeing them leveraging, robotics for prescription fulfillment, like we are seeing with Walgreens, like that makes sense. But that is a big investment. I also think that you need to think about with all of these smaller satellite locations, you have to think about fulfillment operations and routing improvement and stuff. So like, if there's can you fill in one location and is there somebody driving around and kind of routing all of those prescriptions so that people can still get access to them quickly? Because if they can't get it quickly, then even if they do have to drive a half hour, they're going to have to drive a half hour. I think they're also going to need smarter inventory analysis technology to understand they're still going to have wellness products. They're going to have a significantly smaller footprint. So are they investing in the technology to understand, like, what do we need to have on the shelves in this particular region, in this pharmacy desert, based on the collection of information we're getting from people's prescriptions? So there's a lot of work to go into it, but in concept, I love the idea.
Really? Wow. Okay. I 100% disagree with you. I think points for altruism and the PR on this.
Yeah.
And of any headlines we've ever covered on the show, I hope I'm wrong about this.
Yeah.
I'm just really skeptical of the business value here ultimately in the long run. And for that reason, I don't like this idea very much at all. And the reason I say that is I used to be someone that used to actually recruit and hire pharmacists.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have to interview them for the 12 stores I had to staff throughout the country. And those stores in those very outlying areas of the country, like, and I'm talking big cities too, relative to what we're talking about here, like Casper, Wyoming,
right,
or Cheyenne. Actually, technically, we didn't have a pharmacy in Casper, but Cheyenne, Wyoming, or Kearney, Nebraska. Like, it is really hard to find full-time pharmacists. So I just don't see how this works. Yeah, where you're keeping a fully staffed pharmacist in these stores in the long run. Yeah. But, it's worth it. It's worth the test, I guess, for 3 stores to see and to try to prove it out. But there's a reason pharmacies aren't in these locations already. Yep. They probably were at one time. They've gone away. People need to remember that. There's nothing, very rarely is there anything new in retail unless you come up with a new way to do it. Yep. And it doesn't sound like this headline is that. To me, the whole experience to make this happen in the way we want has to be completely reimagined. Yes. And it should be, because people in these communities need access to pharmacies. But so for me, I think of things like mobile ordering and on-site pickup via lockers or other types of services, but again, I'm skeptical from reading the announcement of this that's what this is about. It sounds like it's just a smaller store
Yep.
with a staff pharmacist, which is going to be incredibly difficult to operationalize over time.
Yeah, I don't think we disagree. I think
Yeah.
that we just there's like my
You're just
thing
more
is
bullish that it could work.
It's great, but the investment has to be there. They're going to have to learn. I think your point is dead on about the pharmacists being fully staffed. Like I think that's something that they're going to quickly understand. Like maybe we're going to need this one person to float between all of these, but then again, there's so many operational things that they need to figure out before this can be.
But the other
something
thing,
that,
but the other reason I'm kind of skeptical of this, if you look at Rite Aid technologically, like and innovation wise, I would put them behind Walgreens and CVS, having followed the headlines for the last 4 or 5 years, like we have. Like it just doesn't seem like they're doing things. Sounds like they've actually had a lot of struggles to get the money to do those things. So I'm skeptical that this is going to work.
All right, well, let's see. Fingers crossed.
Prove me wrong, Rite Aid.
Do
Prove
it,
me
Rite
wrong.
Aid. All right, last headline, Chris. Claire's is joining the ranks of Wetzel's Pretzels and opening shop-in-shops inside of Macy's. According to Chain Store Age, once again, the teen and tween fashion accessories brand is teaming up with Macy's to open shop-in-store locations in more than 20 Macy's locations nationwide. The assortment will feature hair accessories, jewelry, and cosmetics and seasonal items for holiday parties and celebrations. Chris, are you going to go get your ears double pierced at the Claire's and Macy's anytime soon?
No, and all I can say, stop the world on this. I want to get off. Like I just can't. I can't take these stories anymore. The Wetzel Pretzels, the Claire's. I mean, where does this idea end?
Yeah.
What's next? The sharper image? Are we bringing back the sharper image, Macy's? I can't for the life of me understand how taking everything from inside of a mall and putting it in an anchor tenant works for anyone in the long run.
I don't know.
Like, play this out for me, Ann. Like, Macy's keeps going down this path.
Yeah.
Doesn't it ultimately become Target and Walmart with an untenable cost structure ultimately at the end of the day too?
Yeah.
Because their business model doesn't work the same.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I think that's the ultimate question. Like, who has the right to win here?
Right.
Like, Target's doing this with Rowan. Like, there's all these other people. Like, there's tons of other options. And Target and Walmart are so much better than Macy's at
one-stop shop.
Yeah, and also at the back end things. Like Macy's, you can't just keep stuffing things in your stores. Like you are not making any investments in bettering inventory analysis and visibility, bettering your curbside pickup and other services.
In fairness, they did have the announcement of I think 25 or 35 micro fulfillment centers they're going after, so they're making some efforts there.
Maybe, but from the consumer's perspective, like
that's
there's
the point.
There's nothing that is being invested in here, and when you roll these concepts out, they look great in Herald Square. I just had a conversation with somebody about it this week about Toys R Us. Like the Herald Square location looks fabulous, and we would expect it to.
Right.
And maybe even peppered around the suburbs around Manhattan where the executives live. But when you start to roll this out to Minneapolis, to Texas, to anywhere else, they look like crap, and they're not holding up the brand value for the brands that are coming in. And there is no reason that Macy's has a right to win this situation, the one-stop shop, like you said, than over a Target.
You put the chair at the top there, and you're 100% right. Yeah, when you start getting to the disparate locations, like it's gonna be the same thing as a Target or a Walmart that looks a lot crappier. Yeah, like honestly, at the end of the day. And let's not forget too, Ann, there are Claire's in 2,500 Walmart stores already too. Claire's product is in 2,500 Walmart stores. I looked that up already. So like, where's the difference here? What's the differentiation?
Still not a reason to go to a Macy's. Like,
no.
Target and Walmart's have grocery stores. Like there's a reason you're getting me in there. I mean, it's just, I don't know, Chris. I cannot talk about this one that much.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I thought you nailed that one. Dude, like zinger to Macy's on that one.
Oh man.
Nice
All right,
job.
let's get into the lightning round, Chris. Dr. Scott Zietlow, I don't know how you say your name, Scott. I'm sorry. But he's a longtime Mayo Clinic trauma surgeon and medical professor who is now taking the reins of his family's Quick Trip, that's with a K, convenience store empire as his father retires from his role as CEO. Chris, what is one thing you'd hope that a surgeon would change about convenience stores?
Well, I hope it's not the typical thing I associate with surgeons, which is absolute arrogance and godlike complexes. Like I
didn't even say the guy's name right.
I know, but
I'm sorry.
But for that, like this is a really weird move. You know, he's been a trauma surgeon for 20 years, and now he's going back into the family business. So, you know, aside from the proverbial things of like knowing how to keep things clean and knowing how to make cuts where appropriate, I hope he just has the humbleness. He's from Minnesota, so he's probably pretty humble. I hope he has the humbleness or the humility to approach this job with the right frame of mind, because he's probably had a lot of people catering and kissing his butt for the last 20 years. Let's be honest.
Oh man,
Surgeons are the most ass-kissed profession of anyone in the world, in my opinion.
I would be heading to Maui and just being like, peace out.
Yeah, fair play to him for getting into the business.
I gotta find somebody else
awesome.
to take this.
All right, this one's fun. When a hologram of Sam Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, was recently asked, this is true story, what he would tell Black Friday shoppers, he reportedly responded, "It's very important to smile at a customer, Ann. Look them in the eye and greet them," he said. "Those customers are the reason for our being. Don't you all realize that?" And my question is, what creeps you out more, the idea of a hologram Sam Walton, or that answer actually makes a hell of a lot of sense?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the hologram Sam Walton is, I was joking. I was like, are we sure that's not just like a cryogenically frozen Sam Walton?
Right.
That if anyone could do that, he probably would figure out a way to make that happen. So I'm going to say the hologram for sure.
The hologram for sure.
Without a doubt.
Not the fact that the AI is scarily accurate. Okay, cool.
I expect that by now.
Right.
Like, that is no surprise there to me. All right, Chris, Miami nightclub owners are mourning the loss of income from crypto bros as FTX collapses. This was crazy. Did you see this? They went from revenue of $6 million in the last 6 months of 2021 to just $10,000 of total revenue in the last 3 months. Chris, which of the popular crypto bro nightclub splurges would you be most interested in? Singing on stage with 50 Cent?
No.
$50,000 private tables? Or a bathtub of Dom Perignon?
Ooh, is it a solo bath experience, or can I invite other people?
God, I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
I can let my imagination run wild.
Yeah.
But I'm picking the Dom Perignon for sure.
Oh
100%. Maybe some Cristal thrown in there too.
Oh my God, I would drink a bathtub of champagne. I love it. So
yeah,
much.
you would.
Oh my
would.
God.
Oh, that's so disgusting. All right.
Not after anyone's been in it.
All right.
Let's
good.
clarify.
Oh,
but
I still wouldn't drink it. You still drink it out of a bathtub? That's disgusting. All right.
I don't know.
A never used bathtub, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. The city of Perth, Australia's highly anticipated City of Light Christmas drone show didn't go exactly as planned. Multiple drones began malfunctioning and falling from the sky throughout, crashing into the, no joke, Swan River as crowds watched on. Your thoughts, Ann?
We should definitely attach 10-pound packages to these things.
Right? That's right. That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And shout out to Australia. Australia's in our top 5 of countries that listen to our podcast. So thanks to all of our fans in Australia. All right, that wraps up this great show today. Happy birthday to Zoe Kravitz, Sarah Silverman, and the woman who will always be the wind beneath my wings, and possibly countless others, the great Bette Midler.
We got to watch Beaches this weekend. I'm going to throw that one in.
No, absolutely do I not need to watch Beaches this weekend. That's the last thing I need to
it.
do. And remember, if you can only read or listen to one retail blog in the business, make it OmniTalk. Our Fast 5 podcast is the quickest, fastest rundown of all the week's top news. And our twice weekly newsletter tells you the top 5 things you need to know each day, and also features special content exclusive to us and just for you. And we try really hard to make it all fit within the preview pane of your inbox. You can sign up today at www.omnitalk.blog. Thanks as always for listening in. Please remember to like and leave us a review wherever you happen to listen to your podcast or on YouTube. On behalf of all of us at OmniTalk, as always, be careful out there, and please refrain from watching Beaches and depressing yourself this weekend.
The OmniTalk Fast 5 is a Microsoft-sponsored podcast. Microsoft Cloud for Retail connects your customers, your people, and your data across the shopper journey, delivering personalized experiences and operational excellence. And is also brought to you in association with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group. The A&M Consumer and Retail Group is a management consulting firm that tackles the most complex challenges and advances its clients, people, and communities toward their maximum potential. CRG brings the experience, tools, and operator-like pragmatism to help retailers and consumer products companies be on the right side of disruption. And Takeoff. Takeoff is transforming grocery by empowering grocers to thrive online. The key is micro-fulfillment, small robotic fulfillment centers that can be leveraged at a hyper-local scale. Takeoff also offers a robust software suite so grocers can seamlessly integrate the robotic solution into their existing businesses. To learn more, visit takeoff.com. And Sezzle. Sezzle is an innovative buy now, pay later solution that allows shoppers to split purchases into 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks. To learn more, visit Sezzle.com. And finally, Silk. The Silk Cloud DB virtualization platform is a virtualization layer between your workloads and the cloud. It helps you scale your cloud without scaling your costs. Visit silk.us to learn more.